We are recording the video, and now here's the audio. It's the Mike Tech Show, show number 798. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Mike Smith. Thank you very much for downloading and subscribing to the show. Please visit the main website at miketechshow.com. You can email me questions and suggestions for show topics at miketechshow@gmail.com. You can leave me a voicemail message on Skype. The name is Mike Tech Show, all one word. Now, real quick, this is for Doug Betts, who sent me a voicemail on Skype, and I told him I didn't get it. Microsoft, in your infinite wisdom with Skype, I thought I was signed in as miketechshow@gmail.com, and there was no voicemail there. I emailed Doug that I didn't get the voicemail. Well, I did, Doug, after you replied back. And I realized, wait a second, my Skype sign-in is Mike Tech Show. So I now have two. I have Mike Tech Show, just one word, and then I have miketechshow@gmail.com. I actually think I have a three because of my personal email that's tied to my Microsoft account. That's crazy. Anyway, you can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/MikeTechShow, Facebook.com/MikeTechShow. This show is brought to you by Instant House Call, robust remote support for IT pros and MSPs, providing unattended and on-demand remote access. Try it free by clicking on the link at miketechshow.com. Use the promo code MikeTechShow for your free 15-day trial. Or you can go directly to instanthousecall.com and download the trial. You will love it. Remember, the Amazon link has changed. My new Amazon link that supports me and the Mike Tech Show is, there's a banner on the left-hand side of the website and also in the show notes. Please update all your links and pound away at using the Amazon link. It really makes a difference, and it's going to take a couple months to get back up to the levels that I used to be. And just let's keep using that link. I really, really appreciate it. It's the best way to show your support for anything that you buy. I have tremendous show tonight. We're going to talk about the blue screen of death that I constantly got Friday night after arriving here on the Beast 2. Client move preparation, big. We're going to talk a little bit about iOS 15. And there's also a watch update for my Apple Watch, iPad update. Firefox extensions. Weird thing happened. Fixed the network printing. Microsoft, no passwords anymore? Well, wait to hear the problems you're going to have if you support a lot of Microsoft clients or clients that use that. And then Android messaging issue, got some emails, and then we, of course, have some other emails. I need to let everybody know, and thank you for everybody reaching out. If you were to search Google for the Mike Tech Show, it redirects you to a pharmacy. But if you go to miketechshow.com or go, but don't search for it, MikeNation.net, you're fine. I ran the cleaning software today that I always talk about. It found nothing. So, Matt Rodella, as you hear this, you will be receiving a call. He is the web man, and I am going to need his help. And so once I get Matt on board with this issue, that'll be great. So I am back in Florida for 2 months. Then I'm back in PA. I head back November 20th. I have a lot happening while I'm down here and looking forward to it. Then I come back for a long weekend in December with my son Ryan. We're going to a 2-day music festival for 97X and really looking forward to that. And I used my miles to get free round-trip tickets for Ryan and I, and really looking forward to it. Then I'm back in PA for Christmas, and then I come back here between Christmas and New Year's, and I'll be here to the end of May. People who follow me on Facebook, you have noticed on Tuesday I got my Pfizer booster shot along with my flu shot. The only side effects was pain in the arm where the shots were given to me for about 12 hours. And once that is, passed, I had no issues. So no flu symptoms, nothing. So couple things, though, before I start to get right into everything. I have to show you something. So Amazon, I purchased a 3-in-1 wireless charger. I might have talked about that. I have too many wireless charging devices, and this puts all three together. So that's what it looks like. But I didn't get that from Amazon today. No, I ordered this last week, and then today Amazon told me that it's going to take another 2 weeks. I'm like, no, I want it now. And that was early this morning. So I went on to Apple to get the same Belkin device. It was in stock. Not only in stock, I got an option. Would you like it delivered today? Yes, please. And I didn't know this, there's a huge Apple store, like not far from here, but I've been too busy to go get it. It's going to be delivered? Yes, it was delivered by Uber. So that was very cool and unexpected. And that's why I now have my 3-in-1 charger sitting here instead of waiting for a couple weeks. That was excellent. I am in a great area for same-day delivery, being so close to Tampa. Amazon, now Apple, even Best Buy, Staples. There's a lot of things where I can get quicker delivery than I could back in Pennsylvania. So very, very interesting. All right. Now, Friday, I get down here, and I already knew there was an issue because I left my system on, and it was unavailable a few weeks ago. So that means something happened. It rebooted. It crashed. I came down here and was greeted with the BIOS. I was like, ooh, ugly. So I checked everything, rebooted, system started. I was like, oh, okay. Log in. Bang. Blue screen of death. Crash. Reboot. Ooh, what's going on here? Bang. Another blue screen of death. I got a couple things going on, but I did find out what it is. Once I went to a recovery, previous saved recovery point, system restore point from a month ago. It successfully recovered, and I stayed in. No reboots. But I knew something was wrong because I did an analysis of the dump, and it definitely points to memory. I ran the Microsoft on reboot memory check. It absolutely confirmed there's bad memory. So I'm like, okay, I will go on to Amazon and order 216 gig Corsair Vengeance. As a matter of fact, they're the same. That's the same memory that's in the system, which it's under warranty. I think it's like 5 years or something. So the warranty, and this is the Carrie Holzman built system, the Beast 2. So I'm going to get a replacement for that. Now I'm like, this is not the bad RAM. This is the good RAM. I have yet to put it in. We're almost a week into this. I have yet to crash. I know the RAM's bad because it failed the test. I have to put this in. That's just laziness. I have to get on the floor. And I did get down there, and I was looking, and I was like, oh, I got to unplug everything. So I said to myself, on the next crash, I will stop what I'm doing. I will unplug everything. I'll get a mat that I have to lay down on the island in the kitchen. I will put the system there, and I will put the new RAM in. Now, remember, this RAM just might need to be reseated, and it might solve it. So we'll see how ambitious I am. What I really should do, yeah. Yeah. Kate's reading my mind in the chat. I hope that next crash isn't in about 3 minutes, which, I thought of that today. I have been so busy. I have been crazy busy helping clients, and I'm loving every minute of it and enjoying it. But there's just no time to crawl underneath the desk and deal with this. And I'm a big guy with a foot that's still not better. It's not easy getting down and crawling in the floor and doing. That's why I have a son working for me. No. But anyway, and there's nobody here. I'm here by myself. I will do it. But if I'm going to do it, I got to do it right. And right, I have to set up monitor, keyboard, and mouse in the kitchen when I have it on the island, and I need to reseat it and run the memory test. Then see what's going on. If it fails, take out whichever one is bad. Run the test again. I gotta do serious testing once I do that, and I'll determine exactly which one is bad, if any. Now, there's two 16 gig sticks. See, I still didn't mind buying this. You know why? The two 16 gigs? Because let's say they just need to be reseated and they pass all the tests. Whoo-hoo, we'll add 2 more. Run a test again, and we'll have 64 gig of RAM. Got no problem with that. So, anyway, we're crossing our fingers that it's not tonight that we have the problem, but my intention is to do this over the weekend because I got nothing happening over the weekend. I got no clients to take care of. When I got down here, I had a lot to do, and it was one of the reasons that, yes, it's going to be MTS 86. I have to make a bootable USB for that. One of the things that it was the reason why I could not attend TechCon. That's why I was flying down here during last weekend, and I've just been crazy busy. So anyway, I wanted to let everybody know, what greeted me here, and it was completely unexpected. So, what's keeping us so busy? Well, there's something that's now keeping my son busy and our cable guy. We're finally helping my client move, who during the pandemic, he was forced to go to a temporary space. The final space is getting finished. Matter of fact, it's almost completely done. We had to manage 21 drops, which is going great. New rack. We put a temporary 24-port switch. We keep a 24-port switch around just for this reason, where we can't take the nice PoE that's in the rack for my client that's in their existing space, but when we move it, we'll just replace it with our temp switch, and then that'll go back on the shelf again, waiting to be pulled out. And it's usually it's an HP Pro Curve, and it's our move switch. Fios is up and running, gig up, gig down. We got all the access points my son configured and tested and got them running. Everything's great. Everything's labeled. The move is going to be October 2nd. That's when my wife is flying down. And that is when all 3 of my sons will be working together for this client doing the technology move from the one location to the other. As a matter of fact, the four of us moved them into this spot. Now, I have to pick my wife up at the airport in the afternoon. That's okay. Our daughter-in-law is taking my wife to the airport. So that day kind of put a crink into, how's my wife getting to the airport in Pennsylvania. So I will be remote testing. But they're just plugging in and unplugging. They have a server. As long as everything's shut down clean and it comes up clean, that's a big if. We'll see what's happening. But I love having 3 healthy sons that I can call upon. Well, my oldest works for me full time anyway, but the other 2, they don't mind extra work on weekends. So that's nice. And when I need them, I can put them into action, especially for something like this. So that's happening the weekend. So October 2nd. All right. So a few days ago, I noticed iOS 15, the iPad OS 15 was available. I'm like, okay, let's guinea pig the iPad. So my iPad Pro, I think it's a 2. It's a couple versions old, but I love it. And for traveling like I do on an airplane, I love downloading Hulu or Netflix or Prime videos onto the iPad. And then when I'm on the airplane, I just stick it into airplane mode and I can play everything. And then I have my Apple AirPods Pro, which I love, and I'm set. I sit there, I put it in noise cancellation mode, and I sit and I'm happy. So how long do I test? Well, this was really risky. It was at night, and I decided, okay, it's successfully booted. Things seem to be working. We'll do my phone. So I have an iPhone 12 Pro, and I installed iOS 15. Went well. They've made some slight changes. Out of all the, and I have a link for tonight, and I guess this is the first link for tonight's show, and it is from Mac Rumors, and it's about the iOS 15 update and all of the changes. One that impacted me that I believe is a bug, and anybody that knows the fix, I did some searching and I just didn't find an answer. My email does not notify me anymore. I do not get a ding even though it's turned on. I do not get notified that I got a new email, and that bothers me because anytime I put do not disturb on when I'm sleeping, that's a different story. But when I'm up, I get notified I got a text message. I get other notifications. I do not get the warning for email. And I know there's others out there that had this problem. They've had it with a previous iOS, but I was okay up until 15. I don't have a fix for that. So anybody that can share with me if they find a fix. And I went through all of the notifications. So I went through all the settings. Now, I noticed Apple CarPlay. I was most concerned making sure they didn't mess with that it didn't work, because I was seeing all this 3D updates. It does look beautiful. In my Hyundai Tucson that I have here, 2019, I plugged in the very next day, and even though I didn't need directions, I plugged them in because I wanted to make sure everything's working. To me, that is what is keeping me in the Apple ecosystem. Well, it's a bunch of things. Clearly everything together. But it is the iPad I love. I love my iPad. I also love my AirPod Pros. I got sucked in, and I remember talking about this a while ago. I have an Apple Watch, a Watch 5. Now, they just released the Watch 7. And there are things that the Watch 5 does that I didn't anticipate. I thought for sure I was going to check it out and then pass it down to one of my sons. No, I'm keeping it. And it's because of the health things. If I fall and have a problem, the watch will sense that I fell and will contact 911 if I don't respond in X amount of time. And that's pretty impressive. And not just that, it will unlock my medical history for first responders. This is some really cool stuff that I did not anticipate when I started playing with the watch. And it sucked me in even more. But one of the main reasons when I went to my 12 Pro, yes, because of the deal I got with T-Mobile and everything, but I really like it. I did not like the 8. I did not like the 10. I didn't like the 11. Hey, you know what? I'm not thrilled with the 13. There's not enough. I'm not a camera movie guy. If you are just a camera maven and you got to have the latest, greatest camera, then you go right ahead. They made camera improvements. To me, that's not an issue. To my wife, that's an issue. She wants to fill her phone with grandkid pictures. I love my grandchildren, but I don't take anywhere near the amount of pictures and videos that she does. So people have the different needs. My needs for the 13, it's just not there. I am not upgrading to the 13. We'll wait for the 14. And then it'll be 2 years, and then it'll be worthy of, what's the deal that T-Mobile will have at that time. So all of these things, and it's really Apple CarPlay. Apple CarPlay, in my eyes, was better than the CarPlay or whatever they call it on the Android side. I think the Apple CarPlay eats the Android one for lunch. Now, there are people that will disagree. It's just, to me, that's what has kept me in this Apple ecosystem, because I love Apple CarPlay, so they didn't mess with CarPlay. I have to figure out, the email is really bothering me that I'm not notified that I got an email. That is super annoying. So I wanted to share that. If you're on the fence of pulling the trigger for upgrading to 15 or not, I just needed to tell you that's the one bug that is really bothering me. So I have links for the Apple release of 15 and watchOS 8 is available. Now, remember, a lot of those features for 8 is for the new Watch 7, but some of them, they've made some really nice changes. And I like what they're doing for the fall detection update. They have algorithms that are updated and optimized for detecting falls during workouts, including cycling, and have been turned to recognize the unique motion and impact of falls from a bike and other workout types. Interesting. A new approach to mindfulness. The Breath app is now the Mindfulness app, featuring an enhanced breathe experience. Now, it's interesting. When I'm wearing my mask, it must sense that I'm not breathing, because a little pop-up comes up and says, you need to start breathing. And it's starting to give me instructions on what to do. Reflect offers a mindful intention to focus on for as little as a minute that can be done anywhere and at any time, and each session welcomes the user with a unique, thoughtful notion to consider that invites a positive frame of mind. So there are some things that I am going to start to take advantage of, and a lot of them have to do with the health and fitness side. And as I finally, it's about time, I'm taking that serious. Now, the sleeping respirator rate, I don't wear my watch when I'm sleeping. I cannot have that on. But I do sleep in Florida in a sleep number bed, which does the same thing and reports back to me on an app on my phone. So very, very interesting. You have more access with Wallet, redesigned home app, which is kind of cool. I don't take advantage of. New Apple Watch faces. You've seen when I showed my watch, very traditional. The chronograph face. There's a thing called focus on everything. And that's even new on the Mac OS. And I haven't explored that. So that's something that I have to look at, and that's across all of their devices. I have 2 links, read, and you decide if you want to pull the trigger for that update or not. Okay. So all of a sudden, I live in Firefox, and all of a sudden this week, my Firefox absolutely got corrupt. It was bad. And I used the UVK, the ultra virus killer, to fix the problem with Firefox. I had not used those little fixes. Okay, let's see what happens. Well, it blew away all my extensions. It absolutely fixed the problem. But now I had no extensions. And there's 2 that I absolutely have to have. RoboForm, because I live in it. That is my master for all the passwords that I use for everything. I cannot live without RoboForm. And they sucked me in, and luckily, they better stay around. And they've sucked me in. I got the 5 years, and I'm in. I drank the Kool-Aid. Second, I have to have Adobe Acrobat Pro. I hate paying that monthly fee to Adobe, but I have to, because I was talking, I have searched high and low for a replacement, anything that I could save money, that I could recommend to clients, recommend to listeners, that could do everything that Adobe does. And you know what? It doesn't exist. It absolutely does not exist. And I have to have Adobe. And one of the things I love doing is with that extension, when I'm doing research for a client or doing something, I can't tell you how many times I convert the web page into a PDF. I absolutely need that. I need that add-on to Outlook. I can't tell you how many times I combined emails and groups of emails for a project, and I make it a combined PDF. There's some cool things you can do. I can't get that with any replacement software. At least I haven't found any yet. And I'm talking about, there was a program I bought for a lifetime license, and I forget what it was, PDF something. I talked about it once, and it was close. It was good, but it couldn't do everything. I have so many clients, but Adobe has a monopoly on the PDF market for a lot of their advanced features. So now, how do you get that back? That wasn't easy. I had to do a lot of research to find, and I'm putting it into the chat, and it will be in the show notes. This is a great link. If you need to add the true Adobe Acrobat extension, it's buried in a directory on your system, and you have to manually add that file. There's no way you would think of that. You think you could just go to a store for, Adobe, where they have all their extensions, and search. Nope, not there. You have to manually add the file. This site, installing Missing Adobe Acrobat extension in Firefox. I have this, and that will be in the show notes. So I started with those two to make sure that I'm sort of made whole a little bit. There's still a couple others, and I will, start to slowly add them as they become necessary. So I took a look at this as an opportunity to clean up Firefox, and everything got removed. It was like starting fresh, except for my bookmarks and tabs, which I gotta have the tabs. Although RoboForm has made it, I go to RoboForm more than I go to my bookmarks or go to tabs. So interesting. It is time for email. I have a stack, and we're going to start with an email from Kate, who's in the chat, and long time listener. She's retired in Canada. She, contributes a lot. You've heard many emails from Kate, and this is a weird Android phone problem fix, and then she has an update. I know you live in an Apple world. Well, I just proved that tonight. And so probably are blissfully unaware of this issue, but maybe we can help some Android 11 users out there. I was away Saturday and Sunday nights and returned home Monday afternoon. I text my husband that I arrived safely at the hotel Saturday afternoon, and we text each other to say goodnight hours later. I found out Monday afternoon that he hadn't received any texts from me after that. I had sent him several messages, replied to his text to me, which I was obviously getting. Yes, because, and this is funny, I had conversations with other friends and a random Eagles fan. I wonder who the random Eagles fan was. Anyway, I got robot messages regarding shipping on stuff I was tracking. I got messages reminding me of medical appointments. I had no idea things were going sideways until I was on my way home Monday. So here's the deal. Before we continue, my wife, who's an Android user, has the same problem with me. She doesn't receive all my texts. So, Kate, as I continue, I am in the middle of this. At least I will be when my wife gets back down here. Problem. Using the Google app called Messages on an Android 11 phone, person 1 can send and receive text SMS messages to and from most people, regardless of the other people's platforms. Works on other Android phones, works on iPhones, but person 1 can't receive text messages from person 2, who is also using Google Messages on Android 11. Now remember, my wife doesn't receive messages from me, and I'm an iPhone. And not all of them. And there's a randomness to it that we haven't been able to fix. Person 2 has no issues sending to person 1 and to anyone else. Everyone but person 1 receives and responds to messages. Both, I got to interject here as we pause. See, if that was happening to me like that, because I swore my wife had to prove it. I was like, you know what? I don't believe there's a technical problem. I think you're just ignoring me. And she showed me the one time that messages weren't there. Anyway, she continues. Both people are using phones with Android 11. They are different phones and on different carriers. Both people are using the native Google Messages app. Neither person realized there's a problem because communication with other people seems fine. Solution and workaround. Changing a setting in the Messages app on person 2's phone. Now, that's not a typo. Reestablished communication. The procedure. we need to change a setting called only MMS/SMS on the phone that is sending the unreceived messages. Open the Message app. Open a message from the person who cannot receive your messages. Tap on the hamburger menu in the top right of the screen. Tap on Details. Use the checkbox or slider, depends on your phone, to turn on only send MMS and SMS messages. That's it. I didn't have to reboot the phone or anything. So what the heck is going on? I'm not completely sure, but it appears to have something to do with Google and carriers trying to implement rich communication services. It's helpful to view this in the context of Android, which is not a closed ecosystem in the way that Apple is. So you have different versions of Android on different brands of phones using different carriers. Yes, and boy, we hate supporting that. You know, when it comes time, okay, they all want to get their Exchange email or something. So my son and I are dragged into the Android world because no choice for supporting. She continues, every so often, things don't roll out everywhere at once. And even when they do, it goes smoothly most of the time until it doesn't. For us, the problem was also intermittent, always a more challenging troubleshooting situation. Everything worked great Saturday night. Nothing worked Sunday. Neither of us realized it until Monday morning. But Monday afternoon, everything worked, then stopped working again. We have two different phones and two different carriers. I come out of a telecom background, and this suggests that somebody somewhere patched something which took some time to propagate and finish breaking things completely. Turning off the enhanced features of RCS is a workaround, not a solution. But since I don't rule out the networks, that's the best I can do. Also, before I got this far, we both tried turning everything off and turning it on again, which, by the way, is something that I've had to do on failed messages to my son Ryan, who has a Samsung Android. And it's only him, where sometimes, at least I know it failed. I have to reboot my iPhone. I got to shut it down, turn it on, in order for messages to go. Now, this doesn't happen all the time. Maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. But it is very interesting, and it is messaging. So I just wanted to throw that out there. She continues, he reset the network settings on his phone. We both cleared the cache in our Messages app. We checked blocked numbers, which was kind of a desperation move because we could call each other and talk on the phone. Android phones are, in fact, phones you can actually talk on. Okay. Finally, this has to do with that specific app. If you are having a problem with the Samsung Messages app, I have no idea. If you are having a problem with some other proprietary app, I have no idea. Best guess is to switch to this app and change that setting. And apparently, not all Android phones have that setting, although both of ours do. See, what a messed up, complex world Android is. And especially with multiple carriers, multiple phones, multiple versions of the OS. It's a free-for-all out there. Part of that scares me, for Android. Part of that I like. So I don't like the closed environment of the Apple, but you know why I'm there. Kate includes 3 links that will be in the show notes. The first one, I found the workaround in a list of things to try here. Going to have that link. Another one, incredibly dry and geeky article on RCS. And then another one, a more entertaining discussion of RCS with pictures and videos. I love it. So now, today, I should say tonight, Kate has an update. So let's keep going here. Hi, Mike, I have an update. If you delete a conversation with someone where you've toggled that switch on, it turns itself off and you have to toggle it on again. This seems to be an end-to-end encryption feature. Recently, Google started rolling out end-to-end encryption in the Messages app. We are both using the Messages app. I am using it on a Pixel 3, and my husband uses it on a OnePlus phone. By the way, my wife is a OnePlus phone. She continues, when end-to-end encryption is on, which seems to be the default, the problem occurs. Toggling that switch to only send MMS and SMS messages turns off encryption because MMS and SMS are not encrypted and the communications work. See, right off the bat, this is way, way, way too complicated for my wife. I looked at the learn more thing and learned more. Screenshots attached. Also attached is a screenshot of messages that did and did not go through. The dark blue are encrypted. He didn't receive them. I then toggled the switch to only send MMM and SMS messages again. The messages were light blue and they came through. It will be nice when this settles down. Kate, that is awesome, and I hope that this helps others out there with similar issues. Certainly my issues are a little different, but definitely linked to the Android world, because on my iPhone, I've never, ever, ever had an issue sending text messages to another iPhone user. The only problems are if there's an Android at the other end and it's intermittent. It's not all the time. So I have to go down this road a little bit. All right. Some more emails here as we start to wrap up. This is from Andy. I'm the guy that just started advertising a few weeks ago on the Nextdoor app. My next system I'm picking up tonight is an HP desktop, and the issue is it's slow and has pop-ups and getting bombarded by spam emails. I have no system specs, but can guarantee an SSD would help and run UVK, Malwarebytes, and CCleaner. But my two questions surround email and spam. Question 1. I'm uncomfortable in going into their personal email to see what they are getting. How do you approach that subject? I am uncertain what email systems they are using right now, but can update this thread once I get into it. Question 2. Is there a good email spam service software for an elderly couple you recommend? Here, first, when it comes to personal email, we just jump into the problem. We don't pay attention to what the content of the emails are, but we solve the problem, whatever it is. If you are a CPA, an attorney, or any medical, anybody, a financial advisor, if you're in any of those professions, we already have an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement that any proprietary information or client information or anything that we see stays with us and we're never allowed to share. So we have that as a contract, as having an NDA. So for the business clients, not worried at all, whatever it is. We see many things and we don't share it. We're not allowed. The personal, I treat the same way. We may not have an NDA, but I'm not sharing anything. You're my client. I know there's no attorney-client privilege, but I sort of treat it like that with my clients. I'm not going to share that. I may talk about problems. I will never identify the client as I talk about things on the show. So same goes with the personal or any residential. If someone's got an email problem, we jump in and we solve it. Now, for spam, interesting. I have no problem with the spam filtering for SureWeb. And I have a lot of business clients on there. Microsoft the spam's been pretty good for the settings. Gmail, not bad, been pretty good. So I recommend, especially if it's an older couple, an older person, see if you can train them, and this is how I replied, see if you can train them into blacklisting and whitelisting. Like if they're using Outlook, train them how to train the junk filter. So this way, as the spam comes in, it'll start to slow down as you train it. Same with like Gmail Online. I had someone that was being bombarded. And once you go in and you start flagging them and you report it as spam, you can then delete it. So you can tag them all and mark them as spam and report it. You start chopping down the tree. It'll start to slow down. If your client wants to spend the money, I use Proofpoint. Usually that comes with if they want to send and receive encrypted email. This is a service that you would put in front of their email provider. So that means they have to own their own MX records. So if it's a business client that has their own domain and they're worried about spam filtering, well, you can get some extra spam filtering with Proofpoint and be able to deliver, they can have encrypted messages. So that could really work for a business. I don't know if a personal individual is going to spend that kind of money. It's not expensive, but, you know, something to look into, and that's Proofpoint. And I just realized I got to add that to the show notes for tonight. Okay, this is from Doug Betts, and he is the question, can I use Fab's Auto Backup to back up a user with a local account or profile to a folder on a C drive and then join the domain with a new Active Directory account and restore the Fab's backup to the new account? Absolutely, that will work. But, and as a matter of fact, and I should have added this, and Doug, you'll hear this, I want you to do that. And then do the following. Make sure you have a local admin account that you know the password for. Because when you're working with a server and you're either getting rid of Active Directory in a domain or promoting it to an Active Directory domain, you got to have a local administrator account. Use the user profile wizard. It's free. You've heard me talk about it. It is a lifesaver. And in one step, you can take that local profile, you can join the domain, and even create the domain account all in one step with this incredible piece of software that many years ago, a listener turned me on to it, and it's the user profile wizard. And that is just tremendous, and I shared that with Doug. All right. Here we go. And you know what? We start to wrap up. This is the final question for the night. By the way, Dexter and a few of you, you've sent me a lot of emails today. Some of them are so good, I'm waiting for next week because I'm going to create the content of next week's show around one of those emails. So if I didn't get to your email, probably going to get to it next week. This is from a Michael. Will you be upgrading to Windows 11? They keep saying it's more secure. As a personal user, I want to just check it out, but I got an older business PC, and according to their specs, it won't work. They are allowing some PCs to upgrade, but no security updates. I am thinking, I guess they want to lose customers, and LOL. Well, no. And I'm going to deep dive, not tonight. There is a protected area of Windows 11. It is to stop the driver nightmare that we run through. This upgrade of Windows 11, this one feature alone, is driving the processor requirements. So supposedly, We're going to see less blue screens. We're going to see less driver problems. And that is, I think, a very quiet update that's coming with Windows 11 that intrigued me more than all of the facelifts and all the different, they made everything rounded and they changed the icons. That means nothing to me. But something like that, yes. But given that, my plan is to have at least one Windows 11 system that is fully compliant. That means I'm going to have to buy some hardware. Okay. That's just for us to practice and test with. My main system, my son's main system, our main systems, no. We are not upgrading because most of my business clients have Optiplexes that will not upgrade to Windows 11. Or the ones that just got systems, yes, but they're very few. Most of the systems that we support out there will not run Windows 11. So there's no way I'm going to convert my main system. Are we going to have clients that when they get a new system, it's going to come with Windows 11? Yes. That's why we'll have, quote, one official test system for MHS Consulting that we will be able to test things with, but it will not be my main system. Now, I say that. Let's see if that changes. But I need to experience Windows 10, the Windows 10 updates and things. I need to live in a Windows 10 ecosystem because that will be 99.9% of my clients. So that's how I answered Michael's question. All right. If you buy anything from Amazon, please, please, please use our link, my link. And it's new. It's updated. Just start updating. Bookmark this link as your way to go to Amazon. It will really help support the show. Instant house call. This is it for remote access. I live in that. I couldn't live without that. That's how I make a living. Especially being down here in Florida where I'm remoting into everybody in Pennsylvania. You know it. This is instant house call. You heard me mention Fabs Auto Backup. Fabs is a wonderful program that we use all the time in moving the settings and data from one system to another. Doug is going to use that to help him with the profiles, whereas he's adding an Active Directory server. So Fabs Auto Backup, use the link. It's in our show notes. They're an affiliate. Love them. Great program. I use it all the time and been using it for years and years and years. I've been talking about it. That is it for tonight's show. A little longer than, had a lot to cover tonight. Hope you had fun. Hope you learned something. Hope you got something from this. That's it. And next week will be show 799. Then the following week, there's not going to be a show. So October 14th will be show 800. I'm going to be down here. I don't know what I'm doing to celebrate show 800. I'll think of something. And that's it. See everybody next week. Same time, same channel. Bye-bye.